Walt Disney presents...
Captain America!
Today's episode is brought to you by Brilliant, and boy do we need them at the moment. What happens when you hate your own product and the audience that comes with it? So you try and turn your show into something where you can write some social commentary, but you absolutely suck at writing social commentary. You get the She-Hulk Attorney at Law show.
Yeah, it kind of seems like I'm done here.
Not so fast.
Even calling She-Hulk a show is stretching it. At best it's a Saturday Night Live skit that falls flat, but for some reason it's allowed to just keep going on. Even though absolutely fuck all happens in each episode. You would usually expect a superhero show to pick either an interesting story or fun action. She-Hulk has chosen neither. I have absolutely no idea who this show is made for. Now don't confuse that with me saying, why isn't She-Hulk made for me? There are lots of shows and movies that I'm not the audience for. Isn't that right, Brie?
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
But usually you can see what audience the writers are trying to appeal to, or these days which side of the political social fence they are pushing. But this show is a bizarre mess with its moral compass all over the place.
Captain America!
Fucks. She was going to say fucks, because not only have the writers not watched the movies, they think screaming about sex in a show that should be welcoming to kids a good idea. Explain that one, Mum and Dad. Now, being Australian, it's very hard to offend me. Crassness is our way of life.
Jesus Christ! Get the fucking thing out of here, you mad bastard!
But I will never understand Hollywood's fascination with pushing adult themes or humour in what should be family entertainment.
You are this close to being uninvited to the orgy.
Don't get me wrong, if you have the talent, it can be great fun to wink at the adults in the room.
Although she lives with 7 other men, she's not easy.
Or be a little bit cheeky with the kids. But that takes writing skill and a normal understanding of who your audience is and what is appropriate. This bizarre mess is a mixture of brain-dead courtroom scenes, laughing at virgins, and finding out if She-Hulk can get laid.
That ass did not deserve to die a virgin.
Now, I'm not going to go into all the general production problems like problems we're not talking about, terrible CGI, problems we're not going into. Mark Ruffalo delivering his lines like he had no idea what emotion he was meant to be going for.
Steve Rogers is not a virgin. He lost his virginity to a girl in 1943 on the USO tour.
Problems we're not talking about. Weird consistency jumps between scenes, like loud crowds cheering in a nearly empty bar.
That's for you. No.
Problems we're not worrying about. The consistent need to make everyone ordinary or bloody nice.
You can see, I'm in full control.
The worst crime we're going to get in this exciting superhero show is a copyright infringement on a perfume brand. Keep fighting those stereotypes, ladies.
Oh, yeah, my clothes.
Problems we're not worrying about. The lack of any story beyond girly cliches, which sounds bizarre coming out of the mouths of women pushing 40.
We're just going to enter with confidence. That's how it works. Excuse us.
Problems we're not talking about. Thinking that Wong is a crowd favourite.
I know you can't wait to see Wong. I get it.
Problems we're not going into. Lazy writing like She-Hulk losing her job at the DA's office.
Wait, you're firing me?
Taking a job that requires her to be She-Hulk even though she apparently is morally against this, but has no choice because she is instantly out of money.
No, I'm balling on a budget now.
Yet this guy who works at the same DA's office is so loaded he can burn off $175K without a problem.
$175,000. It's a whole house in parts of the country, Mr. Bukowski.
Yeah, right.
That's how much spare cash he has. He could just give $175,000 away and doesn't even miss it. But She-Hulk can't afford to buy a second drink.
Another one, Jen?
No, I'm balling on a budget now.
I'm guessing She-Hulk has a crack problem. Problems we're not worrying about. The general not understanding of how the world works, and that a law firm would kill to have that type of free publicity for their business.
We can't hire a lawyer who's such a big distraction in court.
Congratulations on being named a partner.
Thank you.
And problems we're not going into. And of course, America's obsession with poop jokes.
And a map to the best bathroom for pooping.
Thank you.
No, we're not going to worry about any of those problems. We're going to look at how morally murky and hypocritical this show is. But first, let me quickly mention the cast. Remarkably, they can all act and are all fairly enjoyable to watch. Tatiana Maslany, no idea if I'm saying that correctly, who is pretty charming, is working her ass off trying to make this crap work. If Disney had half a brain, they would have just remade Ally McBeal with this cast. But instead, they decided to combine the adult themes of a courtroom comedy drama with a comic book character who appeals to kids. Is some genius at Disney who is right up with what the kids want these days thought, if only She-Hulk was more like that 1999 smash hit, Ally McBeal. You know, the show that appealed to adult women who like to drink Chardonnay and discuss their sex lives? That's the flavour our new kids show needs.
Don't stop.
Now, if only they'd gone with a more Boston legal mashup, we could have had She-Hulk dealing with Denny Crane. Now, that I'd watch.
Denny, if you were president, seriously, you would nuke Iraq and Iran.
Before breakfast.
Then what, North Korea?
Okay.
Pakistan?
Why not?
Afghanistan.
If there's time.
Now I know She-Hulk was a lawyer in the comics, but who would have guessed that this would mean we'd get a badly written court drama featuring a giant green woman in a suit? She-Hulk could be righting the wrongs of a corrupt legal system, but instead we get her practicing first-year law studies while fighting the exciting problems of stolen identity or copyright infringements. Fucking thrilling Twitter and YouTube problems.
Gun, knee, right foot, left foot. Thank God for guns, huh, Jerry?
And of course we are going to get Hollywood showing us what an incredibly sexist society we live in by having the characters behave in ways that are completely off the charts.
There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it. I love harassing women in the workplace. It's my kick.
I don't know what type of example the fathers and brothers of the She-Hulk writers set, but Christ on a bike. We haven't seen characters this misogynistic since Sean Connery talked about how it was okay to slap women.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No.
The blinding hypocrisy of this show is staggering. She-Hulk just consistently contradicts itself with its weird moral judgments and social commentary. Social commentary that may have had some meaning if this show had premiered in 1980.
A tribute to anyone who has ever been overworked, underpaid, and pushed to the edge by an ungrateful boss.
Spare me the women's lib crap, okay?
And of course, if it had the slightest hint of self-awareness, and because it doesn't have any self-awareness, we get magical moments like when She-Hulk points out how a group of men she knows nothing about, or how long they've worked for the firm, she points out how they never had to prove themselves to rise through the ranks of a huge law firm.
These dodos never had to deal with this on their first day at work.
Hollywood likes to pretend that men just walk down the street and random strangers hand them law degrees and partnership positions in prestigious law firms. This incredible insight into the ease of the male life in America happens while we are literally watching She-Hulk use her appearance to land a high-paying job with the corner office.
Look at everything it's getting us. Are you kidding? Big-ass windows.
A job she is clearly unqualified for.
Why didn't you trademark your own pseudonym? I never even thought about it. Did Doctor Strange have to trademark his name? Did Thor?
You chose two examples of people who use their real names.
Now, this would be fine if this show was meant to be some type of satire, but it's not. She literally just got the job on her looks.
Okay, this sucks. I am totally qualified, but now everyone around here is always going to think this is the only reason I got the job. It's so unfair.
I want you, well, the She-Hulk, to be the face of it.
Oh.
That means I'll expect you to be at work and in court as the She-Hulk.
Those guys around the table probably worked 20 years to get to where they are in this firm. She-Hulk just passed by them because of her looks. This could be the greatest example of zero self-awareness I've ever seen in a show.
I'm gonna have to buy an entirely new wardrobe just to come to work.
Yeah, and you're making enough money where you can do that now.
Let's take a moment to thank today's wonderful sponsor, Brilliant. And boy, do we need them at the moment, because as we constantly see, the world is getting dumber. Well, don't join in with the dumbness. Break away and join Brilliant, the brilliant people who help you learn new skills that will help you reach your full potential. Brilliant is the best way to interactively learn math, science, and computer science. Werewolves and robots, I'm in. Brilliant have thousands of lessons to choose from, with new and exclusive content added monthly. And don't think it takes hours out of your day to learn something new. No. Just doing a little every day can have a huge impact. I spend 30 minutes a day on Brilliant, and I'm so much smarter. Maybe smart enough to finally find love. And thanks to Brilliant, I now understand how algorithms work, which means I'll be able to beat YouTube at their own game. And Brilliant is not just for beginners. There is college-level content on there for everyone. That beats ending up in debt because you spent 4 years getting drunk at college. Start your brain-building journey for free by going to brilliant.org/robothead or click on the link in the description. And the first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Go to Brilliant and get smarter today.
Captain America!
And the timing of this show, that is going to show the struggle of women in the modern workforce, could not be more perfect to show how full of shit Hollywood is. Because in what must piss the She-Hulk writers off is that this bizarre show happened to come out just after the biggest media-covered case of all time. A case that was watched by millions of people, and now wait for it, was won by a woman. A woman who was admired and respected by everyone except for a very small group of loose cannon crazy women. It's funny how that works. A case that had incredibly talented women, idiot women, and complete evil women. We even had more women covering the case, God forbid. And the amount of fucks given by men across the world regarding all the women involved in this case, absolutely zero. But that's the real world, not the Hollyweird Disney world. In that world, men are lunatics, abusing women and hiding their homosexuality. But I'll come back to that bit.
I can't talk to a 10 about embarrassing man stuff. She could be my next fiance.
Happy to not be involved.
He a lawyer? He looks cool. Yeah, I'll take him.
In the Disney reality, men would have demanded that Camille Vasquez be replaced by a competent man.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
Relating to your nose.
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
Foundation, hearsay.
I'm trying.
The Disney version of the case would have also had a problem with Camille destroying another woman lawyer. So when they buy the rights to the telly movie, they're really going to have to recast that role as a man. Shouldn't be much of a stretch. I wonder what the Shatner's up to these days.
Now we got to get, a douchebag.
Though when they do make the tally movie of this case, they should really go with my original idea, which was to have Johnny Depp play every character at his trial, except for the part of Amber Heard. Amber Heard would be played by Nicolas Cage.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to.
And I know, that is the greatest idea of all time.
Shut up and take my money!
The icing on the cake of this show's bad timing was having She-Hulk laugh at the guy who was ripped off by a lying, scheming woman who used sex to steal $175,000 from him. Only in Hollywood would that story be hilarious. Maybe next season, the She-Hulk writers should have She-Hulk represent Amber Heard. Seems like a good fit.
You had all of the $7 million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities. I'm so sorry.
That was quite surprising that the guy with this personality, the misogynist pig, never mentioned before, right up until this moment, that he was dating a supposed mega superstar.
There's only one Megan Thee Stallion.
You would think an egomaniac like him may have mentioned it once or twice.
Did he ever share his personal life with you? Specifically his dating life?
Yes, he would. Prolifically and unprompted.
You wanted to know. Well, to be fair, I thought I was dating Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm sorry, what? Sorry, you thought you were dating Megan Thee Stallion?
What part of Shapeshifter did you not get?
And while we talk about the fucking weird morals this show is dealing up to the kids, how up with men's fantasies are these writers? And do these writers know any men that aren't gay? Female bodybuilders aren't up there in most guys' fantasies. And I'm not talking about those super fit body sculpting ones. I'm talking about the I can kickstart a big rig ones. No offense, ladies, but on the scale of fantasies, you probably don't rank very high with the general male public. And even if you do like your women solid, not too many guys want to be carried off like a child to be dominated. I mean, if that was a common male fantasy, jail wouldn't seem quite as scary.
Bug off, bitch. I'll get to you later.
I'm guessing our male friend here likes to take his time in the male change rooms when he's at the gym. I'm also guessing he's not being super honest with himself or his church, because he may be looking for a bit of pickle in his burger. Speaking of pickle, Big Arnie was putting his Austrian pickle into many, many women's burgers. Trust me, pumping iron wasn't just referring to the weight training.
I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific.
So if Disney are all up for exploring sexual fantasies in a kid's show, then it would be a lot more realistic to have women trying to get hold of the huge green hog Banner is keeping under control. What's that, sorry? That's a bit weird for a kid's show? Maybe it is. Now, guys have a lot of weird fantasies, so who am I to say that a large, green, muscular woman isn't one of them? But a very, very common fantasy is to have a woman that can do it all. As Jerry Hall famously said all the way back in the 80s when discussing men's simplistic fantasies, and how all they want is for women to be able to do it all. You must be a maid in the living room, a cook in the kitchen, and a whore in the bedroom, which goes in line with the whole make me a sandwich joke that we always hear. Well, that fantasy doesn't seem to exist in Hollywood. Apparently, every guy just wants large, muscular women. That's why this guy runs out on the cute girl who was making him breakfast after a wild night of sex. In what fucking universe does that happen? The writers are so bent on creating a men are assholes narrative that they think they can sell to us the bullshit that Tatiana Maslany is not cute and most guys wouldn't be happy to date her. Yeah, right. Most guys would be pretty happy to be with a woman that looked like this. A lot more than this. Plus, she's also a successful lawyer who will fill your wild green giant woman bedroom fantasies every night. Crazy ass green monster sex, big lawyer paycheck coming home, makes you breakfast. This woman would be fighting the guys off. Nothing like making a large section of your audience feel like shit by telling them that you can look like this, be a lawyer, be nice, and you still won't be good enough to appeal to the opposite sex. Sorry, lonely Sharon, living by yourself, eating Hot Pockets. You don't have a chance. If Jennifer Walters isn't desirable, what chance do you have? Now, yes, I did say opposite sex, because we all know the lesbians are no fools. They would be onto this and this like a rash. It's both ends of the lesbian scale in one woman.
But She-Hulk, She-Hulk's incredible. She's amazing.
What are you talking about? She doesn't even have an alter ego to be that different from herself.
Well, you don't have an alter ego. You're the only one in there?
As far as I can tell.
What is this guy looking for?
I'm Pickle Rick!
So yes, that's how we make amazing content for women these days. We have successful, attractive women being portrayed as losers, or lunatics, or immature women babies. Oh, I do love that butthole close-up. I can't wait until next week where She-Hulk makes a sex tape with Ray J and then dates Pete Davidson, a show made apparently for women, by women, that thinks so little of women. Nice work again, Disney.
Okay. I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it. You have to, or I'll fire you. Do you understand?
Sure.